26 centuries ago, a man sitting under a tree concluded that the self is an illusion. 100 years ago, a group of physicists staring into the heart of the atom arrived at the exact same place. This is not a coincidence. This is where Buddhism and quantum physics meet, at the very edge of what we call reality. In Buddhist philosophy, what we perceive as a solid, permanent world is fundamentally a misunderstanding. The Buddha taught that all phenomena are Anicca, impermanent, constantly arising and dissolving. Nothing exists independently. Nothing stays the same for even 2 consecutive moments. The chair you sit on, the thoughts in your head, even your sense of I, all of it is a flowing process, not a fixed thing. Now step into a physics laboratory. At the smallest scales, matter does not behave like solid little balls. An electron is not in one place. It exists as a cloud of probabilities, a wave of potential, until something interacts with it. Physicists call this superposition. Before observation, a particle is not one thing or another. It is everything it could possibly be, all at once. Here is where things get strange. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles behave one way when unobserved, and a completely different way the moment a measurement is made. The act of observing changes reality itself. Buddhism arrived at a similar unsettling truth 2,500 years earlier, the doctrine of anatta, or no self. There is no fixed observer standing apart from experience. The watcher and the watched arise together, inseparable, moment by moment. Mahayana. Buddhism speaks of Śūnyatā, emptiness. This does not mean nothingness. It means that nothing has a fixed, independent essence. Everything is empty of inherent self-existence, defined only through its relationships to everything else. Strangely, quantum field theory describes something remarkably similar. What we call empty space is not empty at all. It is a quantum field, a sea of potential, constantly fluctuating, from which particles momentarily arise and dissolve back into nothing. Form is, quite literally, emerging from emptiness. Buddhism's concept of pratitya samutpada, dependent origination, teaches that nothing arises on its own. Every single thing exists only because of countless causes and conditions, endlessly interconnected, like a vast cosmic web. Quantum entanglement shows us this web is not just philosophy. 2 particles, separated by enormous distances, can remain instantaneously connected. What happens to one immediately affects the other, regardless of the space between them. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. The Buddha might have simply called it the nature of all things. This connection is not a modern invention. Niels Bohr, one of the founders of quantum theory, kept a Taoist yin-yang symbol on his family crest, declaring contraria sunt complementa. Opposites are complementary. Erwin Schrödinger, the physicist behind the famous wave equation, openly studied Vedantic philosophy and wrote that consciousness is singular, only seemingly plural. These were not mystics. They were among the sharpest scientific minds of the 20th century, and they kept arriving at the same ancient door. Neither Buddhism nor quantum physics claims to give us final answers, but both from completely different starting points. One through inward contemplation, the other through outward experimentation, arrive at a strikingly similar conclusion. Reality is not made of solid, separate, permanent things. It is a flowing, interdependent, ever-changing process, and the boundary between observer and observed may be far thinner than we ever imagined. Perhaps the universe is not something we simply look at. Perhaps it is something we are constantly, quietly becoming part of. If this journey between two ancient and modern paths to truth fascinated you, subscribe, because we are only beginning to explore where science and spirituality meet. Thank you for watching, and may your own mind, just like the universe, stay endlessly curious.